It is even better with a job. If you are not having a job, your mind will be distracted. They were precise and tailor-made for myself. So actually, I decided in 2023 that I want to try for civil services.
He was in Germany for the last 10 years. You came from Germany one day ahead of your exams.
Initially, you will have that insecurity when you are only studying maybe 2, 3, 4 hours a day. And when I decided for philosophy, I stumbled upon Avinash Kumar sir's testimonials, after which I joined Enlight. You will restrict yourself to the bare minimum, to the core.
You will be very much been focused on what only need to be done.
Yeah. So first of all, I accepted that I won't be able to write an answer within the time limit in the initial days. All day thinking about the exam, various materials, and you might get distracted. You have to accept the fact. If you have never done any answer writing, it is bound to happen. I didn't make any notes as such. To get a general awareness, if you have a job, then you know that you have to streamline your preparation, have laser focus. If you have your statics on your fingertips, then you can definitely clear prelims.
So how did you manage?
You cannot just reproduce the whole book in your notes. That is not productive. And all you need is consistency.
Hi all. Welcome to yet another Toppers Talk series. We at Enlight are extremely proud to present Kirtan Bhatt. Kirtan, who has secured rank 262 in this year's civil service exam, had a very unique preparation journey. And his preparation strategy would definitely help the aspirants in the long go. So understanding and evaluating Kirtan's preparation strategy is what we are going to do in the next few minutes. Kirtan is from Gujarat and presently he is working with the state GST department as assistant commissioner. So Kirtan's preparation journey started actually way back when he started or he was in job in Germany. So he was in Germany for the last 10 years. During his days in Germany, he started with his preparation. So before we start with our interview, I would first of all like to congratulate Kirtan on his splendid success.
Thank you, sir. It's a pleasure.
And not only your pleasure, actually, it's Team Enlight's pleasure because the way you planned and executed your preparation, actually, it's an inspiration for us also because we felt sure that in this way also a candidate can definitely succeed because the usual preparation strategy is to leave everything what they do, continuously focus for next 1 or 2 years only for their preparation. So that is fine, but not all people would be having that opportunity to do so. So in Kirtan's case, since his graduation was in Germany,
Yes, sir.
and after that you continued with your job there,
Yes.
so the usual preparation strategy was not available right now.
Yeah. Yes.
Okay. So this is a very brief intro about Kirtan. I don't want to introduce much about you, but Kirtan, viewers would definitely love to hear how your preparation started or what was the basis for your journey ahead.
So actually, I decided in 2023 that I want to try for civil services. So, and especially UPSC. Before that, I had maybe 3, 4 months before that, I had started preparing for GPSC for my state PSC also. So when I decided for UPSC in 2023, I started looking for various optionals. And when I decided for philosophy, I stumbled upon Avinash Kumar sir's testimonials, after which I joined Enlight Foundation for Philosophy. And around maybe September, October 2023, I started with my optional preparation. 24, I finished my GS preparation and 2025 was my first attempt. So, and thankfully I've cleared it this time.
Yeah, by God's grace, you were able to clear in your very first attempt.
Yes, sir.
Okay. But even though you cleared in your first attempt, the planning was very strong. Not only the planning, but the execution part also was very strong. So, Kirtan, can you elaborate why along with job it is very much possible or how along with job it is very much possible.
Definitely, sir. I think it is even better with a job because you will restrict yourself to the bare minimum, to the core of what is needed for this UPSC journey. If you are not having a job, your mind will be distracted all day thinking about the exam, various materials, various sources, and you might get distracted. But if you have a job, then you know that you have to streamline your preparation, have laser focus. So that is the major advantage. And all you need is consistency. Even if you cannot give that much time, even if quantity of time is not there, you can ensure that quality reading is done every day. And on the weekends also, you can have more time. So I think it is very much doable.
Okay. So this is a positive associated with along with job.
Yes, sir.
Since we need to analyze it impartially, were there any challenges also associated?
Yeah, surely, sir. Initially, you will have that insecurity that people are putting in much more time than yourself. Studying 8, 9, 10 hours a day when you are only studying maybe 2, 3, 4 hours a day. So that is the biggest hurdle, I think. Secondly, you won't have as much luxury of going through the materials at leisure, taking more time with the subjects, referring to multiple sources. All of that, you won't have the luxury. But that is also an advantage to an extent.
You'll be very much been focused
Yes.
on what only need to be done.
Yeah, sure.
Okay. So this actually means when we earlier talked with Prateek Mudgal also, he was also mentioning about the importance of restricting the sources, and he also had very limited time. So the sharp focus in preparation actually is helping right now in preparation journey a lot number of aspirants. So Kirtan, when we analyze the preparation journey, it's actually divided into, since you know the exam process is divided into 3 parts,
Yes.
but the major preparation happens for prelims and mains. So in mains, actually there is both the GS as well as the philosophy or the option part. In prelims also we have the GS plus the CSAT part. So actually we at Team Enlight would be doing a separate strategy video for philosophy with you later on. So right now in this video, it's all about the GS preparation in the prelims and the mains part. So Kirtan, can you start elaborating how your GS preparation for prelims went ahead?
For prelims, sir, you have to fix your sources first. Start with the basics, with the NCRTs. I think it is okay if you only read the new NCRTs for history, geography, maybe polity if you want some conceptual clarity about various terms which we encounter, like liberty, what is equality, what is justice, and so on. And after that, you can move on to the standard sources like Lakshmikant, Bipin Chandra for modern history, whatever material you are comfortable with. But after you are done with the basic reading, and that is the most important reading, according to me, because that is when you engage with the material. That is when you put quality time with the material. You have much more time to spend with your books. After that, it becomes a bit more monotonous because you are reading the same stuff again and again. So your first reading should be such that you get 80 to 90% conceptual clarity. And after that, you can revise 2, 3, 4 times and so on.
So the initial read, you focused on ensuring that the basic concept is clear.
Yes, sir.
Sometimes you might be forgetting about the peripheral values, etc., that you did in mind, because that we can, of course, add on later on during our revision sessions.
Yes, sir.
But the basic idea, if something is asked about the basic structure of constitution, you need to understand what is basic structure.
Yeah.
You need to understand the basic philosophy of democracy. Such kind of basics you completed in your initial round itself.
Yes, sir.
Okay. So when you read, actually, did you make any notes? Means, did you start jotting down, or you just went ahead with reading?
So in the initial reading, I didn't make any notes. Actually, maybe 10 to 15 days before prelims, until then, I didn't make any notes for prelims. Because you cannot just reproduce the whole book in your notes. That is not productive. You only need to restrict yourself to those areas which you tend to forget easily. So I used to write down some basic facts which I would forget easily, some shortcomings from tests or PYQs when I'm solving them. So my notes would be maybe 15 to 20 pages per subject.
But
so that is all.
they were very precise.
Yeah, they were precise and tailor-made for myself.
That's the point. Even though when you hear what he is speaking, you might feel that he didn't have notes, but actually you had notes.
Yeah.
And those notes were actually based on your experience while you started reading,
Yes.
plus while you started solving the papers,
Yes.
both PYQ as well as institute-based papers.
Yes.
So the shortcomings you felt while you read a particular area, you incorporated into your brief notes. This is what happened. Huh?
Exactly, sir. Yeah.
Okay, so that is actually Kirtan's tailor-made notes for prelims. That what happened. And did these notes actually? I'm asking you because many people tend to separate their prelims and mains journey. Did you try to incorporate these notes, the precise facts or the examples directly into your mains journey?
Definitely, sir. They can be of use in mains also, especially in static subjects like geography, history. For example, if you have written some facts about a particular book or a particular person from history, from modern history, about a personality, you can reproduce it in your answers as value addition or as an example. In geography also, if you have some diagrams in your notes, you can reproduce them as it is in your mains answer.
Actually, we had a question with respect to Jyotiba Phule in this year's
Yeah.
mains. So that point I feel means based upon our conversation was already in your notes.
Yeah. So if you know what are his books, you know which associations he was
Associated
with,
with-
then you can reproduce it as
First
it is.
is
Yeah.
first you can structure a proper
Exactly.
answer.
Yes. sir.
So the importance of this is certain subjects, the prelims journey preparation, if being made very strong, can directly contribute to good marks in mains
Yeah.
right now. And this is happening in GS1 and GS3. These areas very much overlap with respect to prelims. So aspirants, kindly streamline your preparation in such a manner. So this was your starting with respect to your GS4 prelims. Now, when we plan, you started reading. After reading, you need to check whether what you learned is good enough or not. For that, did you take any test?
Sir, initially I didn't take any tests. I used to solve the PYQs. I have done the PYQs 2 to 3 times the last 10 years. And for some subjects, I even went back to 20-25 years, like history and geography, because those are static subjects. And questions tend to repeat a lot. The themes are also repeating. So I think my focus was more on PYQs. I didn't give any FLT, to be honest. I gave sectional tests because they help to actively recall
What you learned?
what I have learned.
Yeah.
And I feel they are more effective than an FLT. You can give maybe 1 or 2 FLTs just to get the feel of the exam, to fill the OMRs and so on. But for the actual revision, for recalling what you have learned, sectional tests and more than that, the PYQs are of essence.
Okay. So in recent times, whenever I'm speaking with my aspirants, my students, I'm hearing that they are not taking too many tests. Certain people, even have talked with an aspirant who has taken 100 full-length tests. But I have spoken with many aspirants right now who are more focused into PYQ analysis. So Kirtan is one such topper whose focus was more on PYQ analysis because he felt, or it's not his feeling, actually, the topics tend to repeat.
Yeah.
Area tend to repeat, only the way the questions are framed changes. Na?
Yeah.
So here the importance is on basics. Kirtan actually focused on basics.
Yes.
Okay, now comes whenever I say basics, the counterpart is the current affairs. So did you do anything for current affairs or just left that part?
So for prelims, I didn't do much specifically. I used to read the Indian Express explained page regularly every day. Only those articles which are relevant for the exam and for our syllabus. I didn't make any notes as such. So these were only to get a general awareness of whatever is happening around the world. But specifically for prelims, I didn't read any compilations or make any notes from the newspapers, because I think that static is the game changer. If you have your statics on your fingertips, then you can definitely clear prelims.
But this is as far as the prelims is concerned. But when the same current affairs need to be learned in mains, so how you coped out with this?
So in mains, current affairs can help in value addition, um, to write examples, case studies, case laws that are happening. So for mains, I think contemporary affairs are more relevant than current affairs. So if you know broadly the things which are happening, the issues which are in discussion in the newspapers or in public discourse in the last 2 years, and every serious aspirant would be knowing them, then that is more than enough. You just need to prepare those 50 issues which are in news in the last 2 years.
Okay. Now, when you have planned, you have executed your GS preparation for prelims. You came from Germany one day ahead of your exams,
Yes.
wrote your exam in Ahmedabad, the prelims, and the next day you went back to Germany.
Yes, sir.
So now comes the main task. Actually, till now, you are learning a lot of facts, you are understanding a lot of datas, but you might not have practiced any answers. So you are now a newbie in answer writing. So in mains, when you start with your preparation journey, so how did you manage to ensure that this writing part is given due care?
Before my prelims, I had brainstormed a few PYQs. I hadn't written a proper answer as such in the given time limit and so on, but I tried to structure the PYQs through brainstorming, trying to generate points, headings, subheadings, and so on. But the actual answer writing happened after prelims only. So when I joined the Enlight test series and the last lab sessions, that is when my first encounter with proper answer writing within time limit occurred.
Happened.
Yes.
Happened. So this might help a lot of aspirants. So when you started with this proper kind of answer writing, what challenges did you face?
The foremost challenge was the inertia, because there is a lot of resistance within us when we sit in front of a blank paper and there is a question and you don't know where to begin, what to write, and the clock is also ticking. So there is a lot of pressure. And there is also a lot of self criticism that I'm not ready at all. I won't be able to write this answer in 7 minutes or 11 minutes. So that is the biggest challenge.
Then how you overcome this challenge, means that inertia, what did you do to do it?
So first of all, I accepted that I won't be able to write an answer within the time limit in the initial days. You have to accept the fact. If you have never done any answer writing, it is bound to happen. And in fact, a week before the actual mains, I was overshooting the FLT by 10, 12 minutes very often. So that is completely normal. So accept it, start writing, and slowly but gradually you will see that the time is cutting down.
Okay. Now, in mains, actually, we have got the 4 GS papers plus essay. Do you have any advice for aspirants who are now starting with their essay journey?
So for essay, I think each individual has something unique to offer, because everyone has their own life experiences, everyone has their hobbies. Maybe someone likes to watch movies, someone likes to read, watch sports, and so on. So all of that can be incorporated in an essay if you know how to express it in such language which is alluring to the reader. An essay should be such that you are gripped to the very end. You wouldn't like to put it away while reading. So that comes only with practice. So you just sit with a topic, sit with the PYQs, brainstorm what are your life experiences that you can maybe put into this essay, what are the examples, anecdotes that you can put into it. So there is no formal strategy for essay as such.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you need not prepare separately for essay.
Yeah.
What you learned in GS, what you learned in your school days, what life has taught you, that you try to incorporate, or you just try to structure it and introduce it.
Surely, sir.
Okay. So I hear that in essay there are aspirants who start preparing the introduction very early. This anecdote style of introduction.
Yeah.
And there are various aspirants who start collecting quotations so that they can fill it up. Poems will be filled it up. Did you have such kind of practice?
Honestly, no, sir, because I feel that sometimes that can become mechanical or forceful. We try to insert the anecdotes or the quotes forcefully into an essay, even though they might not be relevant. So try to write in a natural flow, in a free flow. And that is the best way to write an essay.
Okay. Now in GS, actually you are scoring nearly 134 marks in ethics.
Yes, sir.
You are one among the very good score means persons who scored this year in ethics. So what you did in ethics?
So for ethics, I had my notes made by myself over a month before prelims itself. So my notes had all the basic keywords, the definitions, and so on, the usual stuff. Then I had made an example bank, around 50 to 60 examples from various fields like military history, mythology, world history, GS, um, bureaucracy, and so on. So my examples were also very diverse. And apart from that, I tried to write in an authentic manner because in essay you anyway don't have much time to think. So whatever you have internalized about ethics, whatever you have truly understood about the subject will come out on that day. So try to address the question head on. Don't try to make the introduction overly beautiful or overly appealing in an artificial way. Just try to address the question and write in a free-flowing manner. So that was my strategy.
Okay, the major challenge that aspirants face in ethics is the time constraint.
Yeah.
So how you overcome this?
So for me also it was a very big challenge. Actually in the paper of GS4 I missed 10 marks, so 2 subparts of a case study. So even I faced that issue in the actual exam. But you have to write more and more. It is also a physical issue and it is also a mental issue because you have to think fast. You have to write while thinking. So that only comes with practice.
And were you able to incorporate the various philosophers? Means, since being of philosophy background, you might be having a repertoire of philosophical thinkers with you.
Yes.
Were you able to incorporate these thinkers' concepts into your ethics paper, or you just went with the free flow?
So the foremost priority was to address the question. If meanwhile I can bring in 1 or 2 thinkers in an answer, that is good, but I wouldn't try to forcefully insert a particular thinker into an answer. But normally it comes naturally. You will, if you have internalized the concept, you will be able to think of 1 thinker at least that you can quote for an answer, and also 1 or 2 thinkers for a case study.
Okay, so how your preparation for the other 3 papers, GS 1, 2, 3 went ahead? Because for 4 you already made notes.
Yes, sir.
You were nearly comfortable with it. About 1, 2, 3, what was your strategy?
For GS1 also I had my own notes before prelims itself. And GS3, some smaller areas like internal security, I had made some notes before prelims. So I hadn't done any answer writing before prelims, but I had these notes. So I was at ease that at least more than 50-60% of my mains GS is done before prelims. So after prelims, I only need to focus on answer writing and value addition. And that I did through the tests at Enlight and so on.
Okay. Now, this is how you went ahead with your mains. So you came back 2 days before to Ahmedabad, again wrote it. Uh, so how do you feel? Means this journey, coming back and forth from Germany, did it take any toll in your preparation journey?
Yeah, it was difficult, sir, because you lose a lot of time through traveling, and it is also very hectic. You have to switch between modes. I was working, yeah, I was working 2 days before mains, and then I flew to India, and I was writing mains. The weather was also completely different. So those are the challenges, but you have to mentally accept the situations. If you can accept the situation as it is, then you will be able to tackle it.
Okay, so anyone with the right mentality can do in any style preparation journey can happen.
Yes.
This is what based on conversation with Kirtan I'm getting.
And one more thing I would like to add, sir. Because I had the job, because I had the security, I wasn't too bothered about failing the exam. I came with a free mindset. I didn't have any huge expectations because I knew that I have nothing to lose even if I fail. So that way I was able to deliver my best.
Okay. So, Kirtan, do you have any advice for future aspirants, especially the working people?
Yes, sir. My advice would be prepare for this exam maybe for 1 or 2 years after your graduation. And after that, secure a backup, secure something which also you are passionate about, which you are interested in. So you can work and earn while you are preparing. Because once your basic preparation is done, you only need to revise and work on your weak areas. So that way you will have the security and you will be able to write the exam with more confidence and self-assurance. And for working professionals, I feel it is not as difficult as it seems to prepare for the exam along with the job, because you can always take out 2 to 3 hours of your schedule every day, and on weekends you can give more time. So I think it is not a big challenge.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, Kirtan, one last question before we wind up. Actually, how was your association with Team Enlight? What you felt and how Team Enlight helped you out?
So my association with Enlight started with philosophy, because I joined the Philosophy Foundation course with Mahesh sir. And after a few sessions, after a few months, I also got to know about the GS test series. And I was also in contact with you, with Joseph sir, with Shino sir. So after I joined the test series between prelims and mains, I was in constant touch with all the faculties, and the one-to-one feedback sessions over Zoom, um, discussing my papers and so on. And even after clearing the mains, I also had a lot of support from Team Enlight for the interview, where we had informal sessions.
Informal one-on-one
Yeah.
sessions.
So that is my journey, and it was truly enriching for me also.
Okay, thank you, Kirtan. Means it was means we are deeply humbled to means have you here with us. So, on behalf of Team Enlight, I would like to convey my deepest gratitude to you. Also, wish you a very successful future bureaucratic journey.
Thank you so much, sir. Thank you.